Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita reacts to Senator Bernie Sanders' budget proposal, what concerns he has about the bill. And the evacuation effort in Afghanistan continues after the deadly attack at the Kabul airport, what the White House is saying as the deadline to leave gets closer.
Oh, it's a hot one today. Highs around 90 to the mid-90s in the area, and you can see my forehead shining. You can tell I've been sweating a lot of today, and Meredith can vouch for that. She's been out in this heat too. 102 heat index, the peak at Lafayette today, 110 at Catlin, 105 Delphi. There is relief from the heat down the road. Well, the timing of that coming up.
News 18 at 11 starts now. WLFI Lafayette. News from where you live.
Good evening, everyone, and a very happy Friday to you all. I'm Meredith Hackler, and we thank you so much for joining us. Our top story tonight, over 2,300 people packed the Tippecanoe County Amphitheater to listen to Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders discuss the $3.5 trillion human infrastructure plan. I talked with people who attended. Some people who came are in support of the legislation, while others simply wanted to learn how it could benefit them. Senator Bernie Sanders kicked off his town hall tour in West Lafayette to inform Hoosiers about the spending bills supported by Democrats, which focuses on human infrastructure. Sanders says the legislation will be paid for by raising taxes on America's most wealthy.
And what we're trying to do now is pass legislation which says, A, that the wealthiest people in this country and the largest corporations are going to finally have to pay their fair share of taxes, and B, we're going to address many of the long-standing and long-neglected issues facing working families.
The legislation would continue the $300 a month child tax credit. It will expand Medicare to include vision, dental, and hearing aids for seniors. And it will invest in transforming our energy system to greener options.
Now is the time for the United States to lead the world against the existential threat of climate change.
Many people who attended felt it was important that Bernie spoke to people who may not have voted blue in the last election cycle.
You need to reach out to the people in the states that didn't vote for you. I know that he specifically is coming to here in Iowa because he wanted to go to the states and counties where they increased their proportion of Trump votes.
They also felt it would help inform people about the controversial legislation.
We hear sound bites and we hear slogans, but to really understand his plan and his platform, it takes a little bit of time. You got to kind of listen for a little while, and I think this is an excellent opportunity for people to hear and even ask questions.
As for the future of the legislation, Senator Sanders feels even his most moderate colleagues will come around.
I think at the end of the day, we got 50 Democrats, and I think they're all going to come on board.
There were protesters at the event chanting things like, "This is our state," and "Stop the spending." Senator Sanders heads to Cedar Rapids, Iowa, next. Republican lawmakers and elected officials visited West Lafayette this afternoon ahead of Senator Sanders' town hall. The GOP rally called "Stop the Bernie Sanders Spending Spree" happened at the 4 Points by Sheridan. It was organized by political advocacy group Americans for Prosperity. U.S. Senator Mike Braun and Representative Jim Baird were on hand, as well as Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita. They're speaking out against Sanders' multi-trillion-dollar budget proposal, but he disagrees with how congressional Democrats are moving it forward.
I'm going to vote against it on principle because it's done on a flawed process. There's a lot of merit to much of the legislation, and a lot of it in the discussion should be there, but it should be done through regular order, committees. That's why you have committees. We don't do any of that anymore.
The House of Representatives voted this week to advance the budget proposal without Republican support. Braun voted against a $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure plan passed by the Senate earlier this month.